Hey everybody, welcome to the new man layer. My fiance Laura and I bought a house. We moved in, we took possession the 18th of last month. We moved in that weekend and uh, we we lost my dad a couple of days later. My dad passed away at age 74 on the 22nd of August. And so one of the things that helped get me through the last few weeks is staying busy. And you can see over that away, there's still a lot of junk that's got to be put away over there. That's going to be Laura's room. Um, and that has some of my stuff, but a lot of empty totes. I have the man layer probably 85 to 90% put together. It's just a matter of finding spots for the little stuff. The CDs are all up. They're on another wall over here. Records are behind me and over here. And I'll do a tour of the new man layer once it's set up. But anyway, it's really exciting. It's exciting to have my own spot again. It's exciting to be starting another chapter of my life. Um, you know, a year ago at this time, my life was in complete pandemonium. And this year, another chapter has started. It's great. And one of the great things is the house we bought, each of us is going to have our own room aside from the bedroom and upstairs and everything. And so here I am in a man layer, and I have coffee in a mug that says it all. Life is too short for bad coffee. And I have 5-5 Colombian dark roast from Manistee, Michigan, I believe. And it's good stuff. It's not my absolute favorite, but we bought it at a craft fair up in Frankfort, Michigan, earlier this year. And so, anywho, this video is actually, this is one I have been waiting over a year to do. Because it took me a long time to get everything, longer than I had hoped, and then, moved back home into my parents' house for a while after I sold the house. And the thing is, it's been a chaotic year, man. So I haven't gotten nearly done what I wanted. But this is also somewhat a request, and I'm sorry I can't remember who. And if you see this, please remind me that it was you. Somebody asked me a while back if I would do more heavy metal and prog. Now, I'm not huge into prog. I like Rush. I have an idea for a prog one to do. But this one, I'm going to highlight and focus on Rob Halford, outside of Judas Priest. Oh, hold on, though. There's one more I actually forgot. I forgot a CD. Bear with me here, and I apologize. Yeah. Rob Halford has such a varied and wide catalog outside of Priest. Of course, he's best known as the singer for Judas Priest. That's where he's most at home. He left at the end of the Painkiller tour, which is the impetus for starting. So I have stuff all around here, and it's great. And I believe I have all of his stuff outside of Priest. If I don't, if I have missed something, then please let me know. So, I guess just to get going with it, Rob Halford has 2 books out, and the first one, his first autobiography, is called Confess. And in it, he details that he never intended to leave the band full time. It was just kind of how it worked out. And Ken Downing had also been thinking about leaving the band. Halford just happened to put in, not a resignation, but everything got jumbled up and blah, 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 as bands do and all that drama. But 1, I really recommend reading this. 2, don't give it to anybody super young. This is really an R-rated book. It details a lot of Halford's life. Warts and all. And so, anywho, in it he discusses the need to work just outside of Priest, but not to leave it. And so the intent was never to leave it. We got a couple of interesting albums from Judas Priest. We got a lot of really good material from Rob Halford in various bands. And the first one he formed was called Fight. And he took Scott Travis from Judas Priest on drums with him. And the album that came out, the first one, and I have an original CD of it, is called War of Words. This is really the album that should have followed Painkiller for Judas Priest. It's heavy, it's raw. Vocally, Halford was at a peak here. It's more intense. He had really been taken with the groove metal of Pantera. Priest actually took Pantera on tour with them. I don't remember if it was Europe or what, but this is what happened when Halford opened his ears and started listening to newer stuff, and was influenced in turn by the people that he had influenced, which was really fun. This is a record store day. I don't remember what year. Record store day, Black Friday pressing. And normally I'm not a fan of colored vinyl, but this is kind of fun. It's black and gray and white splattered, and just came out swinging on that, and into the pit, nailed to the gun. Life in Black, Immortal Sin, War of Words, Laid to Rest for All Eternity, Little Crazy, Contortion, Kill It, Vicious, Reality, A New Beginning. If you're going to start anywhere outside of Rob Halford, on Halford, outside of Judas Priest, this is one of two places to start, and I'll come to that at the end because I'm going to list my three favorite non-Priest albums that Halford did. So anyway, it was a group of some local musicians from out in Phoenix where he was living. It started out as I guess I was going to mention this a little later, but he originally titled the project K5, and so this is the K5 War of Words demos. They're amazing. He labeled it as such because when he put the tape away in the studio out there, he didn't want people to think, oh, a Halford solo album and this and that. So he was kind of trying to keep it low profile until it was released. And so this is a lot of the same songs, some of which would end up on the sophomore album as well. There are several new songs on here that were new in 2007 when this was released. Now You Die, Forbidden, Down, Beast Denies, and Dead Men Talk. And again, this was Halford at his most raw. He was expressing a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, a lot of stuff that he maybe couldn't in Priest was all found here. And so then came really kind of an interesting and sort of polarizing album. One that I like, but I'm not hugely fussy on. I listen to sometimes, and it's called A Small Deadly Space. And there are a lot of fans of this out there, with good reason. The songs are good. Halford really kind of dialed back the screaming. This is almost, whereas War of Words was almost Judas Priest meets Pantera, this is an alternative sounding album. A lot of down tuning on here. I Am Alive, Mouthpiece, Legacy of Hate, Blowout in the Radio Room, Never Again, Small Deadly Space, Gretna Green, Beneath the Violence, Human Crate, In a Whole World of My Making. And you know what? This is really good. It's not a bad album, but in my eyes, and in the record company's eyes, and in the fans' eyes, it did not live up to the debut War of Words. It didn't sell nearly as well, and the band was disbanded. And I believe they've done, sometime in the 90s or 2000s, Halford reunited with some of the people, and they did a performance here or there, but I could be totally wrong on that. I could be thinking of a whole different band. And if I am, I'm sorry. So anywho, this was the sophomore album. There was an EP put out called Mutations, and it has live tracks, Into the Pit, Nailed to the Gun, Freewheel Burning, Fight, doing Judas Priest's classic Freewheel Burning from '84. Oh my word. They not only do it justice, they really up the ante on this. And Halford sounds phenomenal. And then Little Crazy, which was the single from War of Words. And it's almost bluesy. It's kind of a sing-along song. And then there are remixes from the first album. And so It's maybe not essential. I would start with, if you're going to get into fight, start with War Words first. But this is a cool little piece. And as an addendum, there are a couple of other pieces of fight merchandise you can get. This I was really disappointed in. War of Words, the film, I love the background to it. I love all the information, the documentary part. Unfortunately, the concert film on here it's one of those terrible late 80s and early 90s things where they use one music track and they dub it over several performances. So you're not I don't like that. Ozzy did it with Live and Loud. Sabbath did it with The Last Supper. I'm not a fan of that. It's one of those where I can put on the DVD and not watch it. I can just listen to the live performances. Phenomenal. And then Halford had finally gotten the rights back in the mid-2000s to a lot of his music. And so this is ridiculous. Okay, so I've got the vinyl copy of War of Words. I have an original CD pressing. The remastered CD came in War of Words, the film, and the remastered CD also came, Into the Pit, 3 CD, 1 DVD, a box set, has everything except for the K5 demos in it, has Live in Phoenix, which I have not been able to watch because the DVD player I have, which is actually also a Blu-ray player, I think the DVD is formatted for a different territory. So I haven't been able to watch it yet, and that bums me out. But it's a really good box set as far as CDs go. And so it's got the remastered, remixed versions of all the albums. It's got, really cool booklet here. And so Fight was and probably remains one of the most, I need some coffee, integral parts of Halford's career. So anyway, Fight sort of goes under. He's kicking around. A few years later, 1998, Halford decided to do an industrial metal album. He did it on the Nothing label. Trent Reznor produced it. John Five of future Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie fame played guitar. And so you see the sticker on there. I got it for $4.99 at a used CD store. Voyeurs by a project he called Two. Now this, if we didn't know the power Halford had, I might not mind this album. I'm not a huge industrial metal fan. I appreciate it for what it is. There are no screams. There are no vocal dynamics hardly on here at all. The lead-off track is called I Am a Pig, and it was the video was banned by MTV and VH1 and all that. Halford, you can see, had eyeliner on. He wore mink coats during this period. He was trying to do something different, reinvent himself. I don't blame him. My personal opinion, again, my channel, my opinions, you're allowed different. You know what, guys, if you're an industrial metal fan, pick this up. I only bought it to be a completist because there's a sickness with being a completist. There really is. I haven't played this. I don't even know when I bought it. 10, 12 years ago. I tried a couple of times. I haven't listened to this in probably close to a decade. Maybe I'd like it more now. What's interesting, though, on the promotional tour for this, and you all probably know, and it's detailed here in Confess, is Halford came out of the closet in 1998 on MTV, and it sort of happened accidentally. He wasn't really planning it. If I remember right, they asked him something about which celebrity would you like to be with, have a crush on, whatever it was, and he gave a male figure, and he unexpectedly, inadvertently came out of the closet. And what's really cool about the general heavy metal community overall is everybody has, yeah, of course there were jokes made. It was the 90s. Unfortunately, that's just how it was. But overall, the support he got was phenomenal, and as it should be. He had lived a very private, almost tortured life, you know. But I mean, looking back, you look at the leather and the studs and the whips, and there were clues. A lot of the lyrics, there were clues, and so it was great that he was able to be himself for the first time, and that's a really good thing. So anyway, the concert tour for Voyeurs was canceled because nobody really was interested in going to see Halford with an industrial metal band. Traditional metal was not really at a peak in the mid to late 90s, and so he took a while, regrouped, and in 2000, I had started to hear rumblings that he wanted to make a comeback into the traditional heavy metal world. And there's a bunch of material here, and he came roaring back. I mean, roaring back with Resurrection. This is the best Priest album that Priest never made. And he had a fantastic band behind him here. I believe the bass player from 2 actually came with him to this. Totally different style. This is as classic traditional metal as it gets. It's amazing. There's not a bad track on here. There are some I like less than others. A couple years ago, it was finally re-released on vinyl. I won't pull it out. This is a red copy because that just happens to be what my local record store got me. Um, the Metal God, Halford, was back on this, and the opening song, Resurrection, Made in Hell, Locked and Loaded, Nightfall, Silent Screams. Silent Screams is a very dynamic, dramatic song, and that was the impetus for this album. And then the One You Love to Hate, featuring Bruce Dickinson on vocals, Cyberworld, Slow Down, Twist, Temptation, Drive, and Savior. Holy smokes. He came roaring out of the gate with this. He had some phenomenal tours. Stormed the globe, and this, even though this DVD didn't come out until 2008, the Halford Band live at Rock in Rio in front of, I forget how many hundreds of thousands of fans. So not only then do I have the Resurrection CD there and the vinyl, but there is a remastered Resurrection CD that came with this, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you take a look. There's no eyeliner and mink coats here. This was Halford back, just back, and just phenomenal. His voice was in top form here. The Halford Band was every bit as good as the guys in Fight. It was different because the guys in Fight were more groove metal oriented, like Pantera or alternative. This is straight up Priest metal. Resurrection, Made in Hell, Locked and Loaded, Into the Pit, Nailed to the Gun, Stained Class, Jawbreaker, Silent Scream, Cyber World, Nightfall, The Hellion Electric Eye, Metal Gods, and Breaking the Law. So Halford finally, because with the previous projects, he didn't really embrace the Priest. He played a few songs here and there, but this is where he embraced his past and came roaring back. And then, almost similar to what happened before, the next album that came out was called Crucible, and it was more alternative style compared to the Resurrection album. It took me a while to get into this one. I really, really like this one. Real cool picture of Halford on the back. The instrumental part Manor leads into the title track, One Will, Betrayal, Handing Out Bullets, Hearts of Darkness, Crystal, Heretic, Golgotha, Wrath of God, Weaving Sorrow, Sun, Trail of Tears, She, and Fugitive. And man, this was a killer CD, but it's different. It's less priesty, and if you get it, and I recommend you do, it'll take a little while, perhaps more, to get into. But it's really good. Crap, I think I did these out of order. Halford, Live Insurrection, with some of the tracks being taken from the Rock in Rio. This is done during the tour, and I have been excited to pull this out because in the liner notes, and I don't care if you believe me, if you don't, there is a picture, and you're not going to be able to see it here. But this picture right there is from the Orbit Room in Grand Rapids, Michigan in October of 2000. My friend Adam and I, he's also a ginger. If you look really, really carefully, we were just a few feet back from the stage, and there's two ginger heads where the faces were cropped off. And I will swear, up and down, that's Adam and I. And man, Halford, in a little club with 1,000 people in attendance, put on every bit of the show that I've seen him put on with Priest in front of tens of thousands. And holy moly, was this good. So, anywho, we have Resurrection. We have Crucible. Things are going great in the metal world because in 2004, Halford rejoined Judas Priest. Had the chance to see them on Ozfest that year. They opened for Black Sabbath, basically. They were the two co-headliners. Priest put on killer shows. Great to see Halford back with them. The metal world had been waiting for quite a while. So, anywho, they did Angel of Retribution, great album. They did a great tour behind that, which I saw as well with Anthrax opening. So we weren't sure if we were going to get any more Halford CDs, Halford band CDs. Well, lo and behold, in the late 2000s and into 2009, we got Winter Songs by the Halford Band, and it's a Christmas heavy metal album. And some are original, and some are traditional songs done in the as only Halford can, in a very grandiose manner. Get into the spirit, we three kings, O come, Emmanuel. Ends with Come All Ye Faithful. Really, you know what? This is a fun record. Probably not the place to start for the Halford Band, but you know what? If you love heavy metal and you love Christmas, this is a really cool CD. So then, in 2010, leading into 2010, we got Halford live in Anaheim, the original soundtrack. There's a DVD for this. Have all of his stuff, but not in every format. There's a DVD for this. Opens with Painkiller. This is from the Crucible World Tour. So it's got Painkiller, Rapid Fire, Heretic, Resurrection, Made in Hell, Golgotha, Into the Pit, Light Comes Out of Black, White Heat, Red Hot, Never Satisfied, Breaking the Law, Hearts of Darkness, Handing Out Bullets, Diamonds and Rust, Hellion Electric Eye, Riding on the Wind, Victim of Changes, You've Got Another Thing Coming, and then bonus tracks from Japan, Heretic, Sun, Golgotha, and One Will. And oh man, this is an essential heavy metal live album to me. And a lot of people unfortunately don't remember it, but it was phenomenal. So then, later that year, we got Made of Metal, which, sorry, kind of covering my finger. Not a whole lot of screams on here, vocally kind of subdued, but a really good classic sounding metal album. One of my favorite songs on here is called Till the Day I Die, and it's a real bluesy song. I Know We Stand a Chance, The Mowers, Evil, Undisputed Heavyweight Champion of the World, Fire and Ice, Made of Metal, Live Like There's No Tomorrow. Yeah, just, you know what? He got a little bit of side project out of his system. And they did a great tour. I saw him, actually, it was kind of cool. Rob Halford was the Halford Band was the opening band for Ozzy Osbourne on the 2010-2011 World Tour. And that was awesome. Getting to see the two guys focus on their solo catalogs was amazing. Live at the Saitama Super Arena, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, I apologize, was the resulting live CD and DVD. I chose to go for the DVD. You can see on back here that the guys are all dressed in black, but it's not quite the leather and studs. This one is a great set list too. Resurrection, Made in Hell, Locked and Loaded, Dropout, Made of Metal, Undisputed, Nailed to the Gun, Golgotha, Fire and Ice, Green Man Alicia with a two-pronged crown, Diamonds and Rust, Jawbreaker, Cyber World, Live Like There's No Tomorrow, and Thunder and Lightning. Yeah, just a... Oh no, I didn't even see that. I've got things kind of precariously set up here, and so, man, this far into the video, I don't want to quit on it. So, apologies for the technical glitch. Great, great DVD. Probably the last we'll ever hear from the Halford Band. Only because, as it's sort of, some of it's detailed here in the book Confess, um, there were disputes between Halford's management and priests, and there were accusations, and he said, she said crap, and there's just no need for that. And so he says in the book that there will not be another Halford Band project or tour. Now that makes me very sad. I saw the Halford Band twice. I loved them. I think Halford, outside of Priest, is allowed to be a little freer than in Priest, because in Priest, he's Rob Halford. He's the singer of Priest. That's it. But there are so many great songs outside of there. And then a couple of years ago, Rob Halford, with family and friends, put out another Christmas CD. So this is not under the Halford banner. This is Rob Halford. I believe his nephew plays on here. My brother drums along with my nephew on bass, and they're good friends from associated bands to give top performances here. Celestial, Donner and Blitzen, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, Away in a Manger, Morning Star, Deck the Halls, Joy to the World, O Little Town of Bethlehem, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, The First Noel, Good King Wenceslas, and Protected by the Light. And you know what? It's a pretty fun CD. I did. I would. This is less heavy per se, less grandiose than the Halford Band, and so, yeah, this is the tour now of Rob Halford's non-Judas Priest years. You know what? And what made me think of doing this is just today, Barnes & Noble, my local Barnes & Noble, just a couple of miles down the road, has some 50% off books, and Biblical. I have not read it yet because I just picked it up about an hour before filming this. So I look forward to hearing more from Halford's mind. He's a great storyteller. He's honest. What I love is he talks about band splits and stuff, but he doesn't really throw a lot of people under the bus. He kind of tells it as honestly as he can without being degrading. And so I have a lot of respect for the way he writes. Now, pick. I would say, oh, you know what? Sorry. There was one other CD. Halford, Metal God Essentials Volume 1. There is no Volume 2. There may have been planned. This is a cool compilation from the Fight and Halford Band years. And it's got a bonus DVD with some live stuff and some music videos. And so, it's pretty cool. It's again, not necessarily essential, but it's a lot of fun to have. And so, anyway, picking the three favorite non-Judas Priest albums, I am going to go with number 3 is Crucible, because I really, really like this one. And again, when it first came out, I wasn't fussy on it because it was not what I was used to. Number 2, I'm going to go with Resurrection. Unsurprisingly, probably overwhelmingly by the other fans too, War of Words. And of these 3, whenever somebody asks me what albums define Rob Halford and what show his vocal range the best, these 2, along with Judas Priest's Painkiller, I think are essential. The Holy Trinity for Halford records. So anyway, there we go. That's my overview of Halford's non-Judas Priest years. There is a plethora of great music that I really, really, really suggest you check out. If all you know is Halford and Priest, you don't know the full story by any means. So thank you for your kind attention. I look forward to... my camera's slipping forward again. I look forward to your comments on this. I look forward to hearing what you like and don't like. And keep it civil, please. I always ask that. I've had to delete a few comments over the years. I hate doing that, but people can be jerks. So anyway, take care, everybody. Go delve into Rob Halford's Non-Judas Priest years. There is so much to discover. Take care.